So hi, this is Linda from Great Glass Galore. We're going to look in our kiln and take our full fuse beginner project that's 8x8 out of the kiln. If you look at the kiln, you can see all the pieces have fired flat. They're all full fused together. There is a little bulge here and a little bulge here, and that's because I put the third layer of glass close to the edge, and it created a thickness that was thicker than 1/4 of an inch from the 2 layers of glass, and it spread out. Okay, so underneath that thin fire shelf paper is now a powder, which is bad for your lungs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wear an NIOSH mask when I take this out of the kiln. And I'm going to wear safety glasses. That powder can get into your eyes, and then gloves because it can dry out your skin. And then I'm going to use a vacuum with a HEPA filter to vacuum that dust up. So I'll put on my glasses and my... I should clean it again, but I'm going to I should clean that again, but I'm just going to put it on the mold for the sake of the video. So this is our ceramic mold. You can see it's somewhat hollow on the back. So even also with the mold, as well as we talked about the kiln shelf, that the glass can stick to the mold. So you want to put kiln wash on that mold as well. Thin fire shelf paper you could put on it, but usually the kiln wash will last at least a dozen firings. So that's why we're going to put kiln wash on it so the glass doesn't stick to it. So a lot of people, if you have bigger molds, you want to put the mold up on kiln posts. So you'd rest it on this to make sure the air circulates around the mold, and so that the mold and the glass heat and cool evenly. I don't do that with smaller molds, but when I do larger molds that have a solid back, I do put the kiln posts underneath it. So you can use molds made out of ceramic, you can use molds made out of stainless steel. You can see this is a stainless steel mold, and I can't just paint on the kiln wash, I have to bake it on. So I have to heat the glass, and then I have to paint or spray on the kiln wash so the glass doesn't stick to the mold. So generally, the ceramic molds you slump into, and the stainless steel molds you drape over. So this particular mold, why don't you come over here, honey, would be used in to make a vase. So you put a sheet of glass over, and it falls over the mold. Okay. So what we're going to be doing next is I'm going to be doing program number 3 here. We're going to be doing the slump for the 8x8. We're going about 400 degrees an hour. You have to worry about the ceramic molds breaking. So generally, if you have a large mold, you usually only want to go about 200 degrees an hour. But I know with 8x8 molds and under, I can risk going 400 degrees an hour. That's step 1. Step 2, still 400 degrees an hour, up to the slumping temperature of 1205 in this kiln. Hold it for 25 minutes, and then the annealing process, the 3, 4, and 5 are the same as when we did the full fuse. So the difference is our target temperature is only 1205, and we only want to heat at a temperature of 400 degrees an hour. So we'll go over to the kiln. I'll shut the lid. Move that. So let's hit start. We want program 3. Ramp 1 is 400. Ramp 2 is 400 degrees an hour to that 1205. Hold for 25 minutes. And then the rest is like we annealed before. So I'll just rapidly go through all this. It's the same annealing thing. Ramp 6 is 0. Start. It's going to start. Okay. So we will come back tomorrow and see what the slump looks like.